This is Baseball 99 here, and we have a new deck profile for you. I bought the Return of the Duelist box, so yeah, tons of good stuff in there. Pretty good pulls. Bought 3 of them. So yeah, I have I was able to build one. The deck I chose out of it was a deck that not many people chose. A lot of people went with the YUGIOH, the Madolchen, or the Prophecy. I'm gonna also build Prophecy, I think. But what I did build right off the bat was the Heroics. Everybody's gonna be like, oh man, Heroics, they're probably the worst one in there. They're not. They're ridiculous. The way I built this deck, they're so fast. So yeah, let's get going here. So for the Heroic monsters, we play 3 Heroic Challenger Warhammers. He's a god monster, this deck. God. So his effect is when he destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can equip the monster in your spell. You put in your spell and trap card zone as an equip card to this monster. He gains the attack equal. So you get over Neos Alias 1900. He's a 3000 beater now. So he's just ridiculous. He's got 21 to start off. He's only one. He's a 6-star, so he's really good for this deck. I use him all the time. So he's at 3. Now for the level 4s, Heroics, which is all of them. So my Heroic double lance, you run 2. You can summon one from your hand and run special summoned. I don't run 3, gets cloggy, I wind up with 2 in my hand. Yeah, you can special summon them and go right into Heroic, the champion thing, whatever, Excalibur. But then you get stuck with the 3rd one, kind of laying around, you have nowhere special, so you have to wind up rolling something. So sometimes I'll top deck one. I'll get my tech card, Marauding Captain, special with that, and then later on I get this guy on summon him, and most of the time he's still out at that point. Since at that point, and even if when I do special him, next turn I'll normally sacrifice him Marauding into Warhammer. So that's good. So my next Heroics are 3 Heroic Spartans. They're good because they protect your Warhammer. You put him out so that they get like you're playing frogs, they get obelisk. Use his effect. He attacks that monster. You can add the attack points onto your Warhammer, so he has a ridiculous amount of attack points or whatever. He's great for this. This guy, Sword Shield, 3 of him. He is like a freaking 2000 defense point Karibo. So during either player's turn, if you control a face-up Heroic monster, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of the turn, you take no battle damage, and Heroic monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Like, alright, that's ridiculous. You just hang on to him, and if you have a great wall out, you can just start summoning him. Even in attack mode, just summon him. Especially if you're Spartan, you just add up on his attack points. You just keep summoning him, and use him to overlay. That's what I do with him most of the time. But I always keep one around in my hand just in case he has like a 1-turn big move, so I can protect my stuff. Now, my tech choices for this deck. There's not a lot of them, but it's a decent amount. So, 2 Little Troopers. They're like, why Little Trooper? Because normally I do get them both around the same time. I'll kind of hold on to one in the hand just until I need it, obviously. I'll set one. I can flip them up. I can later on summon up the second one, and I can overlay with them, or I can use their effect. He gets popped. I can special summon this one in defense from my hand to just more defense if I have to. So yeah, that's good. Summon from my deck, so in basic defense position if he gets destroyed. So I can get him out right from my deck and use him. And if I get them both at the same time, I go into yay, baby Tygoon. So why not? Now another tech boss monster I play is my Hammer Bouncer. I don't set a lot of trap cards by the time he's out, I don't set them a lot. So I use them. Some of them, they can't use bone traps. 23 beater. Right there, so. And then my Dust Knight. I use this, surprisingly, it's a pretty good combo for first turn and I have Monster Reborn in hand. I'll throw my Heroic Challenger into the graveyard with this effect by flipping him, and I'll Monster Reborn Challenger. My Heroic hammer thing. Hammer guy. So, yeah. He's really good for that. Since all these are Earth, so I can just toss him in the graveyard. Then, my Marauding Captain is only at 1. I don't need 2. Just 1. I normally will Rhoda him. Or if I have Rhoda and, double lance, I'll Rhoda the second lance so I can use the special summon. But, either way. So then, I have my 2 Noble Knights. Astragas and Gawain. They play amazing in this deck. So I play them both. So they work so good with this deck. And last, my last deck card is a Gorge. Just in case. Never really use them. But I have used them once. So he did save me. And I won that game. So why not? Now for the spells. The only really heroic spell in the whole deck is Heroic Chance. I can double my monster's attack until the end of the turn, but he can't attack directly. So I can get over big monsters, but it just can't attack directly, so that's good. So it still works. Rhoda, self-explanatory, and these are just like the staples now. Vortex, just get over stuff. 2 dualities, consistency. Heavy, Dark Hole, Reborn, all self-explanatory, and 2 MSTs, and my 2 tech spells. Noble Arms, I get 1,000, and I transfer over to one of my Noble Knights. And my last is 1 day piece. Keeps it, like, weird. I can always save myself for one of those, you know? So, helps out. Traps, my only 2 heroic traps. Retribution Sword, 2 of those. Works really well. It pretty much doesn't let me take battle damage, and my heroics can't be destroyed that turn, so you just clicked it, so it's good. And then staples now: Deep Prison, Bottomless, Draining Shield, Fiendish, Cylinder, Warning, Mirror Force, Starlight Road, and Convulse. And that's it for the main deck. It's a very cheap and easy deck to run. Now the extra deck is where it gets a little more harder to get the stuff, but not that hard. So this one's easy. David Charger. Run 1 of him. Keeps just like a little extra fun stuff in there. I never really use him, but he's in there. Fairy King. He's good. All my non-Earth monsters lose 500 attack. But all the heroics are Earth attribute. So he works really well. You can lower some of those attack points. Then Heroic Champion Excalibur. The only one of him I run in this deck. Don't need more than 1. I barely even use him. Go into him sometimes, barely use him. 2 Utopias. Self-explanatory. Palliative or whatever you want to call him. He's good. Or she's good. Get the guy that has defense position. Don't let him play too much defense on me. Gem Knight, just getting over Utopias. Shark Drake. Pretty much all the monsters in the stack are level 4. That's why this card is amazing in here. So I detach. After I kill it, brings it back, I can attack again. So, and it loses 1,000 attack. So I just keep inflicting extra damage to him. And then the Stardust. And the last XC is my favorite one. I do this with Warhammer all the time. It's Swordbreaker. 2 Warhammers on the field. I overland Swordbreaker. Just to finish it off. His effect. Once per turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card to declare 1 monster type. This card gives the following effect at the start of each damage step. This card battles a monster of that type that has been declared. Destroy the monster automatically without battle. So I battle it, it's dead. So he has like a beater on the field. I just call that attribute, attack him instead. I don't even have to die, so it's awesome. So that's the heroic deck. Hope you like it. Peace out.